Education from Edmonton Public Schools. Thanks for joining us today. Now, we are talking about no regrets, and I think something that's really important out there is a lot of people have all this family history, and they'll regret not writing it down. At some point in their life, there's always a lot of things that I've forgotten about. You teach a course at Continuing Education about writing down your family stories. Very important stuff, huh?
It sure is. It started out when my daughter was into genealogy, and she started all these things like that, and then she said, she wrote a letter to my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and she said, I would like you people to write down things that you remember, your learned memories and your experience memories. And if you don't do it, we'll get the oldest member of the family to do it. And he wouldn't like that either.
No.
And so I'm starting on ours, and I've been writing down things as I remember from the time that I was first. I think your first memory comes when you're about 4 or 5 years old.
Okay, now that's interesting. What did you write down for your first memory?
My first memory was I had a cat, a little kitten, and I remember petting that cat. But one of the first memories I ever had, and I don't know where it came from, but it used to be really strong in my mind, was have you ever had a little kid and you nuzzle their tummy like that?
Yeah, my dad used to do that to me.
And I remember my mom doing that.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm 74 years old, and I'm sure that was a long time ago.
Okay, interesting question here, Peggy, is what is that called when you do that? That's what it's called.
I guess so. But I have memories of going on the train with my grandma, and I have, they're mostly pleasant memories. I remember going, I was only 7 when she died, and I remember going to the church to see her, but they didn't let me go to the funeral. I remember when my little sister was born. I was 6. And this was in land of Saskatchewan. And
the land of Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Now, all this is the kind of stuff that people would kind of just more or less forget in passing.
Oh, you've got to write it down.
You've got to write it down, because this is all part of, I think you summed it up perfectly before we went on camera here. You said it's all part of putting another leaf on the family tree.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you find out things, feelings, emotions. Now, it's all right for my daughter to do the factual things. She went all over Saskatchewan 2 years ago, and she went to the old homestead in Prince Albert. And then she got a tape of one of the old cousins who was still alive at that time when he taped it, was when my grandfather, Roderick Angus McIver...
Oh, good old Roderick Angus McIver.
Well, he was going down a trail. It was during just before the Riel Rebellion took place. And there was a couple Indians that popped up, and they were going to kill him, so he killed them. Yeah, there was another guy with him. Anyhow, he killed them. And so then after he went home, and then he went to, I think it was Regina, and he told the RCMP about it. And they said, well, you better just go back and bury them, because if anything happens, and these Indians are on the warpath. This was a long time ago when they did go on the warpath, you know. And this is part of history. We know this took place.
So now, the only reason you know this happened is because some older person along the family tree had either written it down or had talked about it.
Well,
so this shows how important it is.
Right.
You wouldn't even know this story.
That's right. And the fellow that taped it would have been a cousin of my mother's, and he was in his 80s when he did it. But he had gone to the RCMP office prior to this, before he taped it, to ask if it was okay, and they said yes, there was nothing wrong with that.
Real quickly here, the course that you teach at Continuing Education, this is what it's all about, isn't it? This is teaching people how, why, and when, and just putting things down on paper. I mean, more or less what you're doing is not teaching, more or less you're
we're sharing. We're sharing.
Yeah.
Because the people that took the course, except for one, the rest of them all had started something. Some of them are further along than others. And I was talking to a gentleman that came in later here, and I'm talking to him, and he was given a gift at Christmas time by his wife, where you can write so much every month. You see? And so I don't care how you write it. You don't have to be, you don't have to know even good grammar. It doesn't matter. I'm not a teacher. You know, I don't care how you write. I don't care if you write in another language. I don't care if it's broken.
You just care if they
write it down.
Now, how can people get a hold of you there at Continuing Education, and when are some of the courses coming up again?
The course that I'll be teaching next starts on March the 5th, I believe. It's a Wednesday night, and it goes for 12 hours. But the first hour, 2 hours, is telling them what we're going to do, and then I give them some assignments to bring back for the following Saturday. And then we have a discussion group. We spend from 10 to 4, at Ross Shepherd High School, and then the next Saturday closes it off. But these are, we share. Actually, I don't teach. I share these ideas, because what I get from someone else. One lady was just doing her these things for her granddaughter, and she had a picture scanned on a computer and put in this. So these are stories about this child.
Great.
I don't care how they do it. It's just get it written down.
Now, what's the name of the course here, real quickly? So
Writing Family Tales.
Writing Family Tales is the course. Peggy Mowry, thank you very much for joining us. This is good. We could go on for hours about this kind of stuff. I know my mom's at home going, good idea. I got to get writing. Should be on the computer right now. So thanks for stopping by.
Well, thank you for having me.
Continued luck at continuing education.
Thank you very much.
You know, we do a lot of things here on The Edge, but we like to showcase people in and around Edmonton. The City of Champions is what it's called. We got a lot of champion people here. This is an Edge biography on John Charles. Stay with us.